I can remember standing at a SEPTA bus station when I worked at Eastern University to take the train into the city to do call time, which is raising money to run for office in 2018 when I first ran for the Senate, and then hurry up and took the train back so I could be back for afternoon practice when I was an athletic trainer there at Eastern University. As you can see there, if you were looking the other direction, there are newly constructed apartments. I'm sure that love to be able to get to and from work very quickly. I think that's an important thing to note, that the Southeast has been growing over the past several years, and Senator Comita's district, Senator Kane's district, anywhere in the Collard counties, Senate District 44 that I represent, which is actually parts of Berks, Chester, and Montgomery counties. All of these areas have had a tremendous amount of new home construction and population growth. Many of those families and individuals, they work in the city. They take the train to and from the city. And if this resource was taken away from our communities, it would put a tremendous strain not just on families and workers, but also students who access the system to go to school. And we know that our seniors, our workers, and students all rely on these critical services so they can get to work, to school, to medical appointments down in the city. And I think it's really also important to note that many people that use SEPTA to come in from the city to the suburbs, to the Collard counties here, they are a tremendous workforce population for us. And many of the big multi-state corporations that have a workforce like Amazon or Lowe's or Home Depot or any kind of warehouse distribution, many of the workers come in from Philadelphia, and they often take more than one train or bus to get to work. And cutting these routes would significantly increase their time in their commute, to the point where they would have to get up to go to work for a 7 a.m. shift at 3 o'clock in the morning. So we talk about quality of life and how people live a healthy life. That also ties into how much time does it take you to get to and from work, especially the people that work more than one job to make ends meet. And so I think, according to a recent traffic projection study, if you've ever driven anywhere around here in the Southeast at certain times of the day, it is madness and gridlock. On my own way here today, 2 roads closed because of trees down. Thank you to the people cleaning up the downed trees. But again, there was a recent study by the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission estimating that an additional 275,000 cars per day would pack our region's interstates and highways if SEPTA is forced to go through with these proposals to cut routes and cutting nearly half of its transit services. So that's eliminating 50 bus routes, 5 regional rail lines, and this where we're standing here today at the Paoli-Thorndale line. That's a lot of cars more on the road. And I don't know if you ever listen to the traffic updates on the evening news, but the amount of traffic accidents in this area is insanity. And so, again, a public safety issue. The congestion and the traffic issue, we know that the loss of SEPTA and the addition of roughly 2 million cars to our roadways per week increases risk for everybody in the community, not to mention putting an additional strain on our first responders and EMS that is already so strained and having critical staffing shortages. We know that the regional rail connects the city of Philadelphia, like I said, to all of our communities out here in the Collard counties, and it's a critical piece in our transportation network, not just for the economy and the upcoming events, but again, just for people to live their daily lives. Penn Medicine stated that as many as 9,000 University of Pennsylvania Health System employees use SEPTA to get to work during an average work week. Many of these workers are traveling to University City neighborhoods where, according to a 2023 survey, there are about 11,500 parking spaces, which is not enough for daily visitors, residents, and commuters if there is no public transportation option. So when you think about that, if you are someone that does not live in this area, but you end up coming Philadelphia for healthcare services because they have some of the best on the East Coast, that now your appointments, your scheduling, your ability to get care for yourself is impacted because either workforce shortages, there's an inability to actually get to the place that you need to go because of the lack of parking and the traffic and the congestion. It's the same story at the Philadelphia International Airport, where roughly 20,000 people work, but there are only 3,700 employee parking spots. So unless someone in the legislature that doesn't support SEPTA wants to coordinate the carpool effort for that, I would really encourage them to think twice about not funding SEPTA in this upcoming budget. According to Center City District, about 100,000 people commute into Center City, Philadelphia, and a 2020 survey found there was about 45,800 parking spaces in the busy neighborhood areas. So again, these are just examples of how this impact is going to be insane, and to not fund this system is just a failure of government. And I really also want to talk about how sitting through another budget and allowing negotiations to not include the major services and essential services that taxpayers deserve is just unacceptable. And we have to force this to ensure that we have available, accessible, affordable, reliable, and convenient mass transit here in the Southeast. And this is an economic reminder to my colleagues in the Senate that this area of the state is your engine for dollars for your own districts. So if you don't think that tax revenues won't be impacted by if these cuts should go forth, you should check your math again, because it most certainly will.